This is an ABP Live Podcast.
It's a new year for us, of course. But for the people of Jammu and Kashmir, it's the same old terror, living in constant fear, violence, death and suffering. Within just 12 hours, 2 separate terror attacks occurred in Jammu and Kashmir. 4 civilians were killed and 6 others were injured on Sunday evening after armed men who are suspected to be terrorists opened fire at Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri district. The next day at the same place, some unidentified men carried out an IED blast which resulted in the death of a child and 5 others sustained injuries. Now, the Director General of Jammu and Kashmir Police, Danvir Singh on Saturday, said that 2022 was the most successful year as 186 terrorists, including 56 Pakistani nationals, were killed and 159 arrested in various operations carried out by security forces. He further added that the police and other security agencies are moving in the right direction to achieve zero terror activities in the Union territory. He also highlighted that the number of youth joining terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir has declined over the last few years due to the efforts made by the government and the security forces. But now the question is militancy, is terrorism really on the decline in Jammu and Kashmir? And if it really is, then why do innocent people keep on losing their lives to terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir? To answer and decode all of these, we have Colonel Danvir Singh Chauhan joining us on the show today, as he talks about militancy and terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, the importance of intelligence mechanism in the state, and much more. So welcome to Clear Cut, only on ABP Live Podcast. This is your newsman Rudrashish, and today, let's talk about the recent attacks in Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri district. So let's get started. So welcome to Clear Cut, sir. It's a pleasure to have you on the show again.
Yeah, it is a great pleasure. Myself, I love talking to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, sir, it's the new year for us, but Jammu and Kashmir, it's in the headlines for all the wrong reasons, yet again. 6 people dead, including 1 child. 2 terror attacks within 12 hours. What exactly is happening in the hill state, and how alarming is this?
Well, let's understand it in a different perspective. If you go to the Twitter and follow the Jammu Kashmir police to what they had tweeted in past 24 to 48 hours. They had claimed, and rightly so, that what all has happened, transpired in the valley in year 2022, wherein it can be said that the insurgency is going down.
Okay.
The terror is the terror scale has come down. So this is just a reminder by the handlers from across that we may be down, but we are not out, right?
Okay.
That is why they carried out a grenade attack on CRPF vehicle in Srinagar, which injured a guy. Then we have a Rajouri situation wherein they attacked Hindu houses. So it is moment you start hitting Hindu houses, see, the Kashmiri content per se is not anti-Hindu. Anti-Hindu is basically the Pakistani hand behind the whole show. And it is a very deliberately done, carried out ploy to divide and to create confusion, create internally displaced people. So this Poly has not succeeded. They had tried in Doda as well. In, I think, if I'm not wrong, 2010-11 in Kishtwar region, Doda region, they had failed miserably. They have tried that in Chhattisgarh, if you remember the very infamous massacre that took place. And likewise, there have been so many incidents of a very high scale and magnitude, all basically trying to implement two-nation theory, that these two communities cannot stay side by side. So wherever they are staying side by side, it hurts. It challenges the two-nation theory to score. So that is the issue. And this itself, now it is very incorrect for me and probably insensitive for me to say so. But when I analyze, see, when you are analyzing, you are a little more, bookish than politically correct and all that stuff. When I analyze it from an analyst point of view, the attacks that they have staged in past 48 hours to 24 hours, or whatever the scale is, timeline is, they have not been of the magnitude that the Pakistanis would like to see. It has not been of that magnitude. They have been of a very, very subscale. Nevertheless, for those people who have lost lives, it's a change of world for them. It's a big, big loss, and our condolences. There is no denying the fact that it is very serious. But you asked me a question that is it alarming? I would say it is not alarming, but it is provoking.
Okay.
And it is provoking to a sense that it makes you ginger up for the challenges that lay ahead. And the challenge that lies ahead is that such kind of attacks cannot be prevented. Actually, they can't be prevented. Not only in Kashmir per se, but anywhere in the country. It is just not possible. But what is possible is to contain and prevent Chhattis Singh Pura kind of stuff, Kishtwar Doda kind stuff that I am referring to, or Nandigram kind of a stuff that happened. That is what is preventable. But what has happened now is just not. You can't rule out. It can happen anywhere and anytime. So it is a call to ginger up. It's a call to tighten the belt again. Despite the fact that a lot of violence level has come down, it should not make you lax. And I'm sure the security establishment is just not lax.
Now, you said that the militancy in Kashmir and Jammu and Kashmir is on the decline, and so has the police of Jammu and Kashmir said. In fact, the police has said that a total of 172 terrorists were killed in 2022. So, do you think that it's really on the decline? Because in the past year, we have seen small clusters of attacks throughout Jammu and Kashmir a lot. So, can it be said that it's really on the decline?
Yeah, that's a very nice question. When you talk in terms of number of terrorists killed, all these terrorists, let's understand and let's get that thing very clear. That all these terrorists have been killed in offensive operations. They have not been killed in defensive operations, wherein the initiative was with the terrorists, and in an encounter or in an attack or an assault, they died. No, sorry. They have been killed in intelligence specific operations, wherein specific information input was available, and an offensive operation was carried out to neutralize these people. So it goes to say that the local population has understood that the future does not lie in terrorism. Future does not lie in violence. They are giving intelligence. And when you are giving intelligence, and when the security forces are carrying out precision, intelligence-based operations, it also implies that there will be no collateral. And very rightly so, there is hardly been any collateral. I would not hesitate in saying that almost 0% collateral damage. And this brings in a lot of confidence of the security forces amongst the civilian population. Civilian population has understood that these are the people who will save us. In fact, this is what is called winning the hearts and minds. And it is being showcased so wonderfully in the past year. It has been showcased very wonderfully. And by seeing all these things, I feel that the violence level has come down. You see, when we are talking of violence, we are also factoring in stone throwing, corroborated, orchestrated incidents, which were a weekly Friday ritual. We are talking of, when we talk of violence, we talk of attacking military and the police posts. When we talk of violence, we talk of massive ID attacks. When we talk of violence, we also talk of cross-border infiltration leading into major encounters. When we talk of violence, we also talk of near liberated zones, which have to be, calibrated by military operations, and bringing them into our fold back again. So all these things were there in past. Nothing of the sort has happened in past year and a half, or maybe 2 years. So that is why I say that it is on the decline, and it is very much on the decline. Yesterday itself, there was a guy who was surrendered with an AK-47 that he had, taken away, snatched from the police. He has come back, and the effort of him getting back to the fold is by the parents. And I have also read reports that now people are not welcoming terrorists, or terrorists are not they are not succeeding in intimidating local population to give them shelter and food. They are turning them away. There have been a number of incidents that have been reported, and that's a very healthy sign. Then we see that in the valley, people, the young generation, young kids, they are getting aspirational. They are seeking higher education. And very recently, in one of the IAS allied exams, a Kashmiri boy has taught. So all these things bring to a conclusion that violence level is going down. The confidence of the civilian population in the rule of law is getting enhanced. And the administration and the police forces and the security forces are constantly winning the hearts and minds of the people. So that is why I said that the violence level has come down, and it is a very, very positive sign, which is not very welcome the other side. So they have to terrorize the local people, and to terrorize the local people, they'll carry out some targeted killing of some single poor pandit or a laborer, or like what has happened yesterday. So these things will carry on even in 2023, unfortunately. Nevertheless, the good part is that the big headlines would be missing, which would be in favor of ISI. So that's what. Yeah.
Now you pointed out that intelligence has been a very important factor in Jammu and Kashmir in fighting militancy, in fighting terrorism. So how do you think intelligence will help in predicting the attacks before they happen this year?
See, there are a lot of different types of intelligence modes. One is human intelligence. Another is technical intelligence, which includes cyber intelligence. Then there is cross-border intelligence, which is raw-based. Then, likewise, there is intelligence gathered through satellites, that is imagery. And then you have people in contact who give contact reports. So all these things come and give you an intelligence picture. When you are talking of a very specific kind of an operation wherein a guy comes with a pistol and shoots a laborer, I would hesitate in saying that such information and intelligence will never be available. However, the intelligence of the level, say, Pulwama, should be available. There is no reason why it should not be available now.
So we're talking about organized terror attacks, when terror attacks have been planned for days, for months.
Okay. I explain you in much simpler way. If a laborer or a Kashmiri Pandit who is working somewhere in the valley is to be hit, there is a sleeper cell. There are sleeper cell guys who are on some sort of payroll from across, or who have been radicalized and who are not interested in payment, but they are radicalized to the extent that they are willing to do anything. So what happens is that this guy will be informed about the target in his area. He identifies the target, confirms. Then the handlers give him a location and a time. At that location time, he reaches there, and somebody comes and gives him a pistol. He has already been told through e-learning as to how to operate the pistol.
Okay.
And Valley has seen a lot of such activities, so people are generally clued up. So he gets hold of that pistol, goes to the target, shoots the guy, and throws away the pistol and melts away. Now, this is one. Another is Pulwama type operation, wherein a car is modified in a garage, which involves number of people. It is not a E-based kind of a setup. It requires physical handling. It requires purchase of a car. It requires workshop to weld in stuff. Then it requires a huge quantity of RDX and explosive that has to be brought in from across the line of control or from the caches that have stored such warlike material that is to be brought. Then somebody has to make a huge ID. That ID is to be fixed into the car. Then you have to have a suicide bomber. He is to be brought into the last stage. Then there has to be a group that is carrying out reconnaissance day in and day out, finding out weak spots, identifying a location for likely attack, and thereafter executing an attack. Now you tell me which of the two models will have a greater train. So anything that has got a greater train or the larger train is likely to be traced out much easily because it has got a larger footprint.
Exactly.
So you have intelligence of all sorts that would be able to gather. In case it is unable to gather, then I think it's a serious flaw and failure on part of the intelligence setup if it happens. But I don't think so that it can happen because it has got other dimensions as well, ramifications and dimensions. So Pakistan would also not like to get into that space. So what is left? What option that is left with the Pakistanis is to carry out such attacks which do not leave trail and which are easy to handle. And the model that I suggested or the model that I talked of is easy to handle. But when we talk of Rajouri has a little different dynamics in terms of terrain, topography, and your demography, plus proximity to the line of control. Forested area, a lot of caches, foreign terrorists. In fact, majority of the foreign terrorists operating in the state of J&K are hiding in the general area, Riyasi, Rajouri, Thana Mandi.
The upper hill areas.
Yeah, upper hill areas, or you can say the forested side of Pir Panjal, facing the west. Yeah.
Okay. Now, and sir, lastly, I want to ask you that day in and day out, our troops are catching these terrorists, these militants, and they are getting hold of a lot of ammunition, rifles, IEDs, grenades. But still, somehow, these terrorists get hands on rifles, on weapons. So how exactly are they getting these weapons? Are they smuggling it through the border, or is there any other way that they are getting it?
Very nice question. In fact, this is a question that generally people do ask, and I think this must be addressed. Let's not deny the fact that a lot of drone activity
Hmm.
is being carried out on the IB in Jammu and Punjab. I recall IG Punjab's statement wherein he said that in last month, I think we are talking of month of November, he said that 200 drones had carried out an activity on Punjab side, Indian Punjab side. So 200 drone activities were registered, right?
Okay.
So I'm very sure if 200 were registered, there would be another 600 that went
Untraced.
without being detected. And these drones are bringing in not only drugs, but they are also getting in weapons, arms, and ammunition, right?
Okay.
That is one. Secondly, I was talking to someone I was talking to my friends in Punch who are guarding the line of control, and they were mentioning that wherever there are big nalas, nalas, or you can say river, wherein they get flooded, they expand, they contract as per the season. There are landslides, and such like activities are such like natural activities are there at every stretch along the line of control, and these are the places which are not wired, they are not barbed wired, there is no fence, and they are physically manned. Those gaps are physically manned. Now when you are physically manning that gap, so multi-tiered, there is always a scope of laxity because of various reasons. In fact, all your friends who are listening, they can try this stunt somewhere in an open ground, wherein you are sitting and trying to detect in a pitch dark night, and you'll find and get other friend of yours to cross by from close to you, and you'll realize that he has crossed and you haven't noticed him. I mean, it's a very simple exercise that anybody in India can do it. So this is what it is. So if our line of control is fenced, let's not forget that there are numerous gaps still available. So it is not 100% sealing off of the territory. There are gaps that are available, and out of 10, I think there is always an odd one group that manages to cross.
And as you said that the other side is supplying weapons through drones, and this has been on the news a couple of years ago, because I heard there was a blast on a BSF base through drones, and that's when we started to find out that they have been supplying weapons as well through drones, which is very alarming, I think, and this should be kept under strict supervision.
Absolutely. In fact, this is a very big challenge for the security forces, and especially our scientific community, who are carrying out constant research as to how to tackle this menace. And let's get this straight, that the drone menace will be handled by technology at the end of the day. No matter of physical interventions and whatever methods that you incorporate would be successful, at the end of the day, it is going to be a technical countermeasure that will, kill the drone menace. So drone is a very big issue. Then infiltration is still there at a very low scale, but it is there. Say out of 100 attempts, 10 do get successful. Let's not be oblivious to this. So this thing will continue. It is not going to settle down that easily. And but at the same time, the way situation is changing in Pakistan, the internal security situation, I fear that it is going to have a lot of repercussions on our side as well, directly, indirectly. So year 2023 is going to be a challenge, and we have to measure up to that challenge, and I'm sure our security forces are totally geared up.
That's what I guess, and I pray God blesses our troops on the border.
Yeah, guys do a tremendous job. They are highly dedicated, motivated, and they're superb lot. In fact, Indian
Exactly.
Army has got one of the finest troops in the world, and very high standards of discipline, very high standards of endurance, both mental and physical. Very hardy boys, very hardy boys, and they are doing a good job, and they'll continue to do a good job.
And we're all proud of them.
Yeah, absolutely. We all are proud of them.
Exactly. Sir, thank you so much for talking to us. It was lovely speaking to you. Thank you so much, sir.
Same here, Rudrakshish. It is always great talking to you. Thanks
Thank
a
you.
ton.
So that's all the news and scoops I have for you today. This episode was produced by Lalit. This is your newsman Rudrashish Kanjilal signing off. Have a wonderful day ahead and keep listening to ABP Live Podcasts.
This is an ABP Live Podcast.